right at Denali. Drying our carpets out.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's December 17th. We're getting ready for Christmas in another week, and we're working today. We're working on our Denali videos. We were at Denali Memorial Day weekend. It was the 28th, the 29th, and the 30th. So we're currently working on that video. And just to update you on a couple things, when we were on our trip, my phone at one point had it became full with all the videos that I had on it. So I had to go and download lots of videos and save them on my hard drive. Well, in the process, unfortunately, we lost a lot of the Denali video. We have lots of beautiful pictures, but we did lose some of the video that we had for Denali. But so anyway, when we first got to Denali, we went to the Riley Creek campground to check in. And you actually have to be really careful. They don't really have a lot of signs telling you what to do. So we
actually we didn't check in. We drove up through there and we got thinking about it. I said, but we have to check in. We turned around, went back down, because it's quite a ways from Raleigh Campground to Savage Creek.
And actually we were going to Talkeetna, which is the campground that's the farthest in. I think it's like 32 miles from when you first enter Denali, so it's like 32 miles out.
But yeah, you gotta stop at Savage River though before they let you go any farther. That's as far as the public can drive a car in. After that, if you're not going to Talkeetna, you have to hop on one of the buses. And so we lost a lot of the video. We made it to our campground, and we discovered that we didn't put the water down and dumped water all over again for the second time. And then we bought...
Now, at the visitors, well, not the visitors, at Riley Creek Campground, just to let you know, when you first come in, stop at Riley Creek and there's a bus depot there.
Yeah, that's where they do everything.
Yeah, that's where the buses depart from every day. And so we went in there, and they had just opened recently. They weren't open that long, so we were trying to get information on what we would do, because when you get to Talkeetna, you have to leave your vehicle there. You can't leave for the whole time you're there. Your vehicle has to stay there.
And we thought that was it, that your vehicle had to stay there, but you could go wherever you want on these buses.
And the buses go right by outside the campground. It's a little bench, a bus stop, and you sit there and you see all day long, back and forth. The buses go back and forth. There's
different, I don't know, two or three different types of buses. But nevertheless, COVID was just coming off, getting over that. And we got there, it was early in the season. They had a lot of new help, and we weren't told a whole lot of things.
So we were trying to figure out, we asked the gentleman that we went up to the ticket counter, we asked about the tickets, because we said we're staying in Talkeetna, and we understand that your vehicle, you can't take your vehicle out, which was fine. But so we asked him about purchasing one of these tickets for the 3 days we were there, that we could hop on and off the bus.
He said, oh yeah, you can hop on and off as much as you want.
And he didn't specify anything about places you couldn't go. He just said, yeah, you could use this bus pass for the time you're here. He said, just go out to your bus stop and the buses go by, and he said you can just hop on and take the buses when you want to go somewhere. So that's what we did.
Yep, so we left, went out there, and first I got in trouble. I didn't have my bear spray in my backpack. We'd never been in a bear area or anything. I just had it on me. He asked me before I went on the bus, make sure to put it in my backpack. So we still had the pin and everything, so we put it in my backpack. And he was a pretty grumpy bus driver. I drive in now since I left my job, and I drive bus, and I could have never imagined being this miserable. But we talked to other bus drivers, and they said that some don't even don't talk, and there's others that just like to chatter and tell all about the history of Denali. And we had one of those. So he asked me, we told him we wanted to go down to the visiting center.
And that's down by where you first come in. When you come into Denali and you stop at Riley Creek, that the visitor center is actually right up the road there. So we were asking them about going back down to the visitor center because we wanted to see the sled dog kennels are down that way too. When you hop on the bus, when you first come in, we wanted to go see the sled dog kennels. So we told them what our plans were, that we plan on going down to the visitor center and then
he said,
looking around down there.
Yeah, and he said, I don't know how you're going to get back. And we didn't understand this. And he said, well, the bus there. And he said, I don't know, I'll take you down. So he took us down, we got off, and we picked up another woman along the way.
And she was actually from our campground too, but she was out hiking in the morning and she flagged the bus down, so she hopped on with us.
But she's been there quite a few times before, and she knew the ins and outs, and she knew better. She knew she wasn't supposed to do it, but she wanted to go down there too.
So we had a wonderful time. When it's an hour, and from Telpnica, it's an hour and 10 minutes on the bus to go back down to where you first come in. So we rode the bus an hour and 10 minutes, and it went by quick. There was lots of beautiful scenery. And when we got to where the sled dog kennels were, we just got off, and oh gosh, we went down to view the dog sled kennels, and the dogs were amazing.
Yeah, and every time they would go and they have this one little pen, they put the dogs, let them run around and play, and all the rest was starting to howling and hoping that they were picked to go on be next.
They have a trainer that'll come out and take turns taking each dog out to let them run around, so the dogs would get really, really excited when they saw one of the other dogs going out.
So we left there, and I think it was maybe a 2-mile trail back down to the visitor center.
Yeah, so we cut across after the sled dog kennels. We hopped on this walking trail and walked through the woods back down towards the visitor center to check that out, which is really nice.
And we met this guy. I would have sworn it was Vern. If you ever watched any of I don't know, is it Van Poo's Vacation, Christmas Vacation with the sled?
It was back in the 80s.
Vern, I mean, I think he's passed away now, but the guy was a spit, and he looked just like him. I mean, he'd come and hiking up, and he talked like him and everything. And
it was a beautiful walk, though.
Yeah.
Beautiful trail down through the woods, and then you come out down towards the bottom by where the visitor center was. So we just went across the road and toward the visitor center, which was really nice. And we did have footage of that too.
Well, we met a lady.
Yeah.
She gave us a ride to the visitor center. Told us that real nice lady and told us about it.
So the visitor center was, they give you, unfortunately we lost video there too, but the visitor center was really a lot to look at in there too.
Then it came time to come back to our campground. And
originally I just wanted to ask, I went back into the bus depot because I was just curious if there was a certain spot we should wait for our bus to go back to 32 miles from where we were, 32 miles back to Telpnica. So I went up to the counter, and
I don't know if that's from Savage River. I think it might be 29 miles from Savage River.
I'm not
sure what it was, but it's a long ways. But
so we went inside the bus depot where we had bought our tickets the day before, and I saw there was one of the rangers walk around. She had her vest on, so I just went up and asked her. I said, could you tell me what the next bus would be that would go up towards Telpnica campground? And she kind of looked at us funny, and she said, well, there isn't any. And she said, where are you at? And I said, well, we're staying from Telpnica. And her eyes got real big.
You're not supposed to be here.
And she said, you came down from Telpnica? And I said, well, yeah. I said, the buses go by there all day long. And then she told us that we weren't supposed to. She said, Telpnica, you can only go the one way, which goes 13 more miles out the other way.
Past our campground, which the road has gone away now.
Right, that's where the road gave out a year or two ago, and they haven't fixed it yet.
Last year it was, at the end of the season.
So we didn't realize, nobody explained to us that we couldn't go back down to the visitor center, that we could only go the other way to where the road was washed out. So
and then she asked us, do you have a stamp? can I see your boarding pass or bus pass? And showed him. And I said, no, we don't have no stamp. And then she asked for something else. I said, no, we don't have that either. And then she said, well, who waited on you? I said, I don't want to rat anybody out.
Well, it was just hard because they were just opening up for the season, so they were training a lot of new people.
Yeah.
But it was just funny. And then in the meantime, this woman's telling us that we weren't supposed to do that. She was very nice. And at that point, I asked her where the taxis were because I didn't really want to walk back 32 miles to the campground.
And about that time, the other woman came along.
Yeah, the one that had got on our bus from our campground, she showed up too, and so she was there too to get a ride back to the.
And she didn't have the stuff that we had either, and the things that we're supposed to have, and she didn't have it either. But she knew. But so
the woman was very nice, so she went and got us all set up with everything.
And we happened to have the bus driver that was miserable that brought us down that told us he didn't know how he was going to get us back.
Well, she told us, she said, come on out here and outside the bus depot, they have benches, you can wait for the buses. And she said, I have it lined up where you can just get on the next bus and they'll take you back to your campground. And sure enough, it was the guy that drove us down and wasn't very happy with us.
Yeah, well,
but we did make it back. We made it back.
We made it back, and they didn't care too much about wildlife. They'd be driving by. Bigfoot could be out there, and I don't believe he would stop for that even.
If there was wildlife out in the distance, he wouldn't stop. He would just keep going. But
it was awesome.
But we did have the sled dog kennels if we needed them. We almost had to hop a ride on with them back to the campground.
And if you ever get in this situation, what I would suggest to do, hop on a bus from there up to Savage River and then start walking. And then from Savage River, then another bus, if they're not loaded, could pick you up and take you there. And that was what we were gonna do if we didn't get a ride all the way. We were just gonna hop off there, start walking, and when the next bus come, God hoping.
All right, we're sleeping at the visitor center for a couple days.
Yeah,
down at the bus depot, sleeping.
We made it home. Made it up to home. We were up there to the campground, and
then the next day we took the bus the other way, which we're supposed to go because we wanted to go out to the point where I think it's another hour. You get on the bus and it's another hour out to where the road had washed out, and there's a big pull off there, so they pull off. And from that point,
it's 2 miles.
Yeah, you can either get out and walk. My knee was bothering me, so I didn't really want to walk it, so I stayed on the bus, and I just went back to our campground, and then Todd did the walk out to where the road was washed out, and he caught another bus back to the campground.
Yeah, and I had there ptarmigans and all kinds of different wildlife that I've seen, ground squirrels, and seen Denali again from a different view.
And he did take pictures that are in the video of where the road was washed out.
And I had video of all of this and the road and showing it all, but we don't have that anymore. So.
But Denali was just, we spent 3 days there. It was beautiful. The weather was perfect. We saw Denali 4 days in a row. We saw it on the way there, and the whole 3 days we were there, we got to see Denali. Beautiful.
Yeah, and our weather was just beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful.
Coming up, we ought to be having videos how much that we spent in gas to this point and on different things. We kept a log of what everything cost. If we bought a t-shirt, about the only thing I bought was t-shirts, and Heather bought some patches.
Yeah, I bought some patches.
And what everything cost and gas up to the point and all. So we're gonna do a video of that. But we just wanted to get you up to speed on what was going on in the video.
And just to let you know, if you go to Denali, just when you first go in, make sure you stop at Riley Creek Campground, and just kind of, if you want to do the bus, check out the buses, the bus depot's there, and you can go and see about the tickets.
And they really should change that from that campground. You only got 13 miles more past that campground.
Oh, we rode our bikes. We had our electric bikes with us, so we did for a couple days there. We rode our bikes, and beautiful scenery on our bikes.
Yeah, we lost video of that too.
But it was so nice to have the bikes with us, and we got to ride around and do that.
Yep, that was good. Jake enjoys a good bike ride. So.
But yeah, we had a beautiful time, good time at Denali.
So, well, I hope that we'll see you again and in the next video.
See you soon. Bye.